Guam employees to retire early isn't a new idea. In 2000, the government saw some 900 employees take advantage of the Early Out Incentive Program, but Retirement Fund Director Paula Blas says the impacts of that program cost the government a pretty penny.
The government actually allowed for individuals to receive this benefit prior to making the payment in full, along with the government's contribution as well. This cost the fund approximately $100 million, and in additional annuities that really were not paid in full just yet.
Blas says the fund has yet to be made whole, and that won't happen for another 3 years. So the idea of creating a new early out incentive program when the first one hasn't even been paid in full isn't sitting well with the fund or the Retirement Fund Board.
A second early out is actually something that the fund will not support, because all this does is increase the government's obligation, not necessarily just with the fact that there's going to be less contributions coming into the fund, but it can also increase healthcare costs, because now you're going to be shifting these people from active to retiree status.
Blas says individuals who take advantage of an early out tend to retire at an earlier age, which means they'll be collecting for more years, which results in higher pension costs. While the idea is still being tossed around and there's been no concrete plans from the administration to implement an early out once again, Blas says she doesn't believe the board will support the idea since there's just too much at stake.
Given the current market volatility and just everything nationally, I think there are probably other ways to be able to try to find savings, because if you really ask yourself, does this program provide or create attrition for the government? Most of the positions that are going to be eligible to retire are in DOE, your uniform personnel, and your healthcare people. So can you afford to really have a mass exodus of people at one time?
The Retirement Fund notes that while almost 900 workers left the government 12 years ago, payroll costs for the government have only increased. Blas stresses that any early out plan must ensure that there will actually be a real savings to the government. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Mindy Egan.